Hi there, guys. My name's Keish, and I'm from Blockchain Sensei, and this is Voice of Crypto.
Hi there, I'm Storm from Blockchain Sensei, and this is the Voice of Crypto, and this is Technically Speaking.
Yeah, so we're excited to get into it today. It's been a lot of stuff happened over the Christmas period, and we want to wish everyone a happy new year. And I think we'll start off by just looking at the biggest gainers and sort of seeing what's been going on in the space.
So I'm going to cover currently what's been trending today. So number one, we've got Steppen, which is a application where you earn crypto from walking. It's also similar to, what was that application that I used to use? Let me just have a quick look at my...
Sweatcoin.
That's the one, Sweatcoin. Yeah. Similar to Sweatcoin. So we can see here in the past 24 hours, it's had a movement of 2.52%. So that means it's gone up by that amount in the past 24 hours. In the past 7 days, it's gone up by 14.59%. And in the past 30 days, it's gone down 32.32%. So this is a great website, coinmarketcap.com, to see which coins are trending. It'll show you in order. It'll show you within 24 hours, within the past 7 days, and within the past 30 days as to what kind of movement the specific coin has made. Bitcoin has made, in the past 24 hours, it has made an increase of 0.13%. Past 7 days, it's moved up 2.15%. And in the past 30 days, 0.90%.
Yeah.
Shibu Inu, which started off as a meme coin of a dog. This has moved up in 24 hours, 1.51%, 7 days, 5.55%, and over 30 days, 6.61%, it's gone down.
Yeah, okay, so it's very interesting to see that still trending. I think let's just cover some of the main projects. I see PancakeSwap there. That's a very large project on Binance, Network. Looks like they've had a few little bits of gains, about 6% over the last 7 days, and a whopping 37% increase in Solana. And I think we're gonna have to look at that one on the charts over the last 7 days, because they had a lot of negative news coming out. Their main investors were pulling out and they had a lot of trouble. So I think, yeah, definitely going to have a look at Solana and see what's going on with that. Let's have a look at Matic. 7% increase or 8% increase over the last 7 days. Okay, that's incredible. Over the last 30 days, as you know, we're in a little bit of a crypto winter season right now. So everything looks like it's a little bit down in the long term, but these are the coins at the moment that are trending, and as we still see Ethereum up there as well, Cardano, Sushi Swap, Reef, and things of that nature. Another huge gainer that we've seen is Lido, which is a DAO, and I believe that they have considerably good APYs. Not crazy blown out APYs, but they've done incredible over the last 30 days, still going strong, and they have quite a lot of liquidity and money going through that project at this present moment in time. So that's always good to see. I think that yeah, it's good to see. Okay, so if I share my screen, I'm gonna get into trading view. Am I able to share screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should be. Okay, perfect. So bear with me, guys. I'm on an iPad today. So let's see. Okay, there you go. Okay, so just looking at a Bitcoin. So over the Christmas period, what you can see, let me just zoom in a little bit into this area here. There was a basically during October, November, and coming up into the Christmas period, from November here, you saw that there was a huge drop off in price, and it went from around about 20,000 all the way down to 16,000. And what we're seeing right now it's funny enough, during the Christmas period was that big wick off, as you can see, but that wick is incredibly in line with this bottom right here, and this is now we're basically seeing, will Bitcoin break through this bit of resistance, and will it be able to push up above the 18,000 range? But considering the macroeconomic position of the world and what's going on at this present moment in time, we foresee that things will be getting worse over the long term and throughout the course of this year. And then later on, we'll then see how that will affect the market after the end of Q1. Going into Q2 and Q3, sort of seeing how that affects the market. And behind the scenes, we do know that at this present moment in time, a lot of the VCs are very active in the space. So yeah, that's something that we definitely do. We will see that there's a lot of money going into projects, and then we'll see the knock-on effect of that. There's a lot of big money and big institutional money on the side right now. And I think that while the markets are down, that's obviously the best position to be in. It's cash heavy. So I feel like that's what we're seeing. But if we look at the moving averages, so right now we're on a weekly chart, and the moving average, this is the 50-day and 50 and 200 moving average. So it's weekly. So this is every candle. So we're going back 50 candles and 200 candles, and then this basically creates these two lines. So we'll see the blue line up top, that is the 50, and then the orange line at bottom, that is the 200. So that goes back 200 candles, and because we're on the weekly, that's 200 weeks essentially, right? So what we can see here is that on the 200 moving average, you can see that we would have to, in order to break that, because right now we are below it, we'd have to go above a 24,000 range, which, as we said, considering the market conditions, we don't necessarily see in the future us breaking through that range, unless there's a crazy shift in the economy, and we also do believe that within this year, something that's very key, a key area to look at, is not only regulation but also CBDCs, and we do believe that this year may be the year where we will see CBDCs coming into play, because the US dollar is at a place where money printing isn't helping, in a sense, and it's just making things extremely worse. So we'll see how that bubble pops in the future. I'm gonna go into Solana. Storm, while I'm pulling it up, what's your opinion on Solana?
At the moment, well, from last year when everything happened, when like within the NFT space, they had some hacks that was going on, which deterred, I don't know if that's the correct word to use, like it put a lot of people off buying Solana and investing in Solana projects.
Yeah.
But to me, it felt like at the time it happened, it felt, I don't know what the right term of word to use. It just didn't feel right. Like it felt like what had happened was on purpose to stop the growth of Solana. I know Solana's the price has dropped dramatically, the same as everything else has in the space. But I do think Solana has a great future ahead of itself. It's something I want to get further research on within the NFT space. I think it's got a lot of potential, to be honest.
I think for me personally, I know the Solana team quite on a personal level, because I've been to a few of their events physically. I went to the one in Paris, and I went to the one in Portugal, and also the one in London as well. So I know the team quite well. They're incredible people that are involved in the community. And one of the key things that I've seen that has made me positive about Solana and their ecosystem is the amount of developers that are building on Solana and passionate about being native to Solana, which in my mind is sort of insane, because it's like we're at such a young stage within the markets, right? And everything's growing. And as we can see, like, look at the drop off. I mean, Solana used to be over $200 and now it's $13. That's an insane drop off. If you look at that. And it just goes to show, if the market can do this, we're in a very young stage of the markets. There's not enough money flowing through the markets for it to be a stable market. And it just really depends on the business as well, because these are all separate companies and businesses. So on a business level, assessing Solana, I believe that they've done incredible things in terms of for physical experiences and events. And they are also working on quite interesting infrastructure and projects that are connected to biology and like more on spirituality and things of that nature, which interests me. But they've definitely thrown a lot of money into events and things, but as we can see reflecting in the price of Solana, we haven't really seen much positive growth in terms of that, and the ecosystem just hasn't had much positive growth and hasn't held and stayed, if you get what I mean. Like, this chart doesn't show that it's strong and staying strong. This chart shows that it's going all the way back to a year ago in March, you know. And that just goes to show they've had a mad ride. They've done a lot of things, but they're right all the way back here, you know, in these price ranges. But in November again, we saw a drop off. Funny, that's a little bit of a quinky dinky with Bitcoin. But yeah, we had a drop off here. So if I get my measuring tool real quick, I would just measure this drop off just from the candle itself. That is a 62% drop off right there. And then we recently had this rise, right, as you can see. So it's not, I wouldn't really call it consolidation because it's such small moves. It kind of is consolidating a little bit, but if we look at this over here, it went down to, we went just under $9.
Wow.
And
kept my alerts on.
That's insane. It went under $9. Something that was $200. Someone bought it for $200, under $9. And yeah, as we're seeing, about a 56% rise from that wick, the end of the wick here. So yeah, I feel like there's, like, in terms of when it comes to buying the dip has been successful for over 100 years. And something with a name like Solana, where it's got so much buzz around it, it's very easy to make these percent gains, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but on the way down, look how big that candle is. That was only 62%, but on the way up, that was 56% gain. So it's a lot easier to make money on the way up rather than on the way down, in a sense. The percentages are higher, but yeah, we are seeing a bit of consolidation, but it looks like it's just been a heavy downtrend. You know, if you look at this trend overall, it's just from all the way up here, all the way down. It's just been.
What is the percentage that it's dropped from that point?
You know? From the top. Oh, I don't want to look at that, man.
Well, I know I bought some at the high, so.
Okay, so if you bought at the high, then you'd be 93% down. Around about 93% down, 94%. So we're in a stage in this space where, really, I believe it's very important to take profits, right? and always leave trickles. That's how I personally have my ethos within my analysis and within the game personally. It's not financial advice, it's just what I personally do. Whenever I take profits, I always leave trickles, and I always invest in amounts that are on a percentage basis and not on an amount basis. And if I'm trying to acquire an asset, rather than trading it, and I'm trying to buy in, I would then also do that on a percentage basis, dollar cost average on a percentage basis. But yeah, let's just have a look at the orders as well. Let me see if I can pull up my VPVR real quick. Yeah, so as you can see, there's a lot of sell orders around about the $29 range, $30 range, between $29 and $33 within this range. And that's exactly where that drop off happened. And it looks like people are ready to sell out again at this time up here. But as you can see, that green bar is pretty much 50-50 with buyers, which goes to show that it's in a bit of an unsure position. It looks like there's more red than there is green, so there would be a lot more sellouts at this moment here. So this has the potential to then fall down again. But I mean, we're pretty much at the bottom. I mean, the bottom would be literally pennies on a dollar. Yeah, literally pennies on a dollar. But yeah, from what I see in this, we have room for movement up until around about $24 within this range, just from looking at the orders. And this is just on Binance alone. So this doesn't show the whole market per se, but this is the orders of Binance. So you can sort of see one of the largest exchanges, what the volume is looking like for Solana. So yeah, that's quite interesting. So yeah, that's a large gainer on Solana, and I mean it's pretty much a no-brainer as you can see this large drop off, and it's hitting basically the bottom and consolidating and hitting that consolidation point. I mean the bottom of the bottom would be around about the bottom of the consolidation would be around about $6, as we can see here. So yeah, Solana is definitely. I think there's definitely a lot more that has to be done with Solana, but that's sort of my take and my insight on that. And in terms of like the price points, within these ranges is where we'll be floating around. So anywhere between $6 and $26 within these ranges. It'll be floating around, but it looks like there's more sellers, so I would say about $21, $23. It's looking like around within these ranges. But yeah, there's a lot of sellers that are selling out, so it will be fluctuating within those ranges until there's more volume pumping through, and that's what I see in this. And of course, it's a no-brainer. It's a downtrend. But yeah, let's move on. Let's have a look at some Cardano, a little bit of ADA.
I've not really seen much about Cardano for a while. I was following a lot of it on Twitter.
Yeah. Okay, let me delete these lines real quick. Lines.
Is a coin that I will hold for a very long time.
Cardano is another incredible project, but as we're seeing quite a large drop off again. I mean, it's just been running down. But one thing that surprises me is that it's the second largest project with the total in terms of total value locked, which is incredible for the project, and it just goes to show that people that are involved in the project have a long-term perspective. So this drop off may just be sort of the bigger players in the space that are dropping off and selling out, rather than just retail. But in general, when markets are doing large moves, it's just generally not retail. Like this drop off here, this was aggressive in this region. So yeah, it's looking like it's been just falling down. So let's just say it had a peak of $3, and now it's at 29 cents. So imagine being an investor early in on a project of this nature. It's a name that is top. I would call it a top 5 to top 10 named project. So considering that, will it be gone over, well, basically until 2024, within a 1 year period, and when the next halving happens, will it still be around? I would say yes, it would be, because this project has been around for an incredible amount of time, and their team are extremely technical. So I would just say definitely Cardano and IOHK. Yeah, they're just incredibly technical individuals, and I think that yeah, they definitely know what they're doing when it comes to building out infrastructure and things of that nature. So yeah, I don't see Cardano going anywhere. I think in the next bull run, there will be more sort of investment in utility, considering regulation and the way that these things are coming into play. We're going to see, in my opinion, the death of meme coins and all of sort of people making projects and naming it something that sounds like you should invest in it because it's going to go flying up, like a rocket ship coin or something ridiculous like that. We should be seeing things like these dying out in the next run, and more investment coming into utility, which is incredible. But yeah, just looking at the VPVR and Cardano, we're looking at heavy sells around about a 40 cent range. As soon as we're coming into the 40 cent range, got heavy sells coming in, all the way up until around about 52 cent ish. But to be honest with you, that's where the most of the buyers are as well. So I feel like there's a lot of sort of confusion within the market as well. I mean, it's almost like you see the point of consensus where this may be the true market value, as there's so much buyers and so much sellers at this point. So this is where you can see a point of consensus, which to me is very interesting, that the fair market value in everyone's opinion on Coinbase is within the 45 cent to 50 cent range. So that also goes to show the value where it's at now and where people perceive it to be, which is good. It's always good to see where people perceive it to be, where the volume in the market is at, because these are limit orders and orders that are made in advance of the market. So yeah, you know, this is a perfect example of one man's trash is another man's treasure right here. But yeah, I would say definitely just from looking at this chart, it's clearly a downtrend. As you know, crypto winter's here. In terms of price points that I think it can go up to, yeah, at the max, I would definitely say is around about 40 cent range until there's another sellout and it will drop back down. So for me, it's looking like more consolidation. Yeah, and we're below the moving average as well, and we would need to reach this region, which is around about 60 cent, which then again, as you can see, there's little to no orders. And also, if you look at this little bar here, there's a sell-off as well. So yeah, that just goes to show there's a large sell-off happening. So yeah, I think that is Cardano. If we're looking at the RSI, we are undervalued right now. Well, it's looking like it's just about in value, but I would say around about the 50 cent, well, coming into the 40 cent regions is where you start to see the perceived value, in my opinion. But yeah, the RSI is low, and yeah, I just think it's an incredible time to accumulate assets at this present moment in time. As long as you're going into projects that you know will be there for within, let's say, the next 5-year period, or at least 3-year period, coming into the bull run and seeing what happens after that next run. I believe investors within this time, in my opinion, will definitely be in a position where they are definitely still up, even after the next bull run. So this is sort of almost like a good time to get in, because it's not a popular time. Everyone that's watching this video, really do appreciate you being here, because it's not an insanely popular time, and this is the perfect time to grasp the knowledge and really delve deeper into these assets. So yeah, let's have a look at Ethereum as well. You know, don't want to miss out Ethereum. Let's have a look at that via Coinbase. And we're in a downtrend currently. The 200-day moving average, we're just about sort of having a little battle with it at this present moment in time. We're fighting it. And that would basically be above the price point of $1,360 roughly. And so just looking at these price points, this is where you can sort of see these ranges. So yeah, given a little bit of more of an understanding of the market right now, it's just looking like a consolidation phase where it's not really left the level of 1,300. It's not really broken above that moving average, and right now it's testing it. As you can see, that wick here is testing the moving average and trying to break through it, which is interesting. So it's looking like there's a battle for Ethereum to do a small little bit of a run up. As we see, it's done a little bit of a run up here in the October period, and then it's done a little dip down. So that's what we see at this present moment in time. But there's a lot of people that are bullish on Ethereum, and I believe we could see that from just the difference in how the VPVR looks. So just by looking at this VPVR, there's so much buyers at this stage where we are right now, which goes to show that it will go up. And this section, so this price range between $1,200 and $1,300 is really where we're gonna sort of see that battle play out. And right now it's looking like the buyers are winning. There's just a little bit more buyers in this than sellers. So yeah, it's looking like it's really just about getting and pushing through. So yeah, that's interesting to see. Yeah, it's looking like the people that are in the market for Ethereum are really trying to buy it out, even though there's a lot of sellers. I'm just seeing seeing as there's a lot of green, big wick of green, like here, this big bar and this big bar. At this present moment in time, there's a lot of people active on Ethereum in the markets, which is good to see. And if we're looking at the stage that it's at, it's got a little bit of room to go down. It could go down. Well, from what we've looked at, if we look at the very bottom of the wicks, it could go down to around about $800 around here, within that range if it does continue to go down. And that definitely would be more of a fundamental aspect in terms of the world and how the world is at this present moment in time. But yeah, Storm, any thoughts on Ethereum? Any
With Ethereum, I think it's always going to be one of the cryptos that everyone will believe in. If you think about it, most NFTs that are popping on OpenSea and Rarible, it's all sold in Ethereum. It's all on the Ethereum blockchain because everybody believes it's the better blockchain. Whereas I personally myself, I believe Polygon as well is something that's going to be upcoming. They've done a lot last year, and it's
Polygon are incredible. Yeah, the way that Polygon's positioned themselves is incredible. They've positioned themselves to almost be like a Honeywell, where no one knows that they're using Polygon, but they're using Polygon, and Polygon's allowing them and helping them with their KYC. And really that zero knowledge aspect of Polygon is and the way that they've utilized it has really a lot of use cases for corporations, and even on the retail side of things for individuals that don't want their data to be given out to third parties and things of that nature. And I think that goes hand in hand with the whole crypto space. So yeah, they have great scalability, I believe, and a lot more use case than a lot of people perceive it to have. If you look into it and see the moves that they're making, you know. But in terms of Ethereum, I think one thing that we can't forget, yes, a lot of people trust Ethereum, but if they're one of the big boys and there's another company that's out there, that means that Ethereum is the target for these companies. This is the benchmark that they need to beat, right? And that's another thing that we need to understand and know that is coming into play, because there's a lot of cryptocurrencies out there, but there's always going to be a potential for a new market leader. We go back in time when the internet came out and look at Yahoo and Google, for example. It's like Bitcoin and Ethereum. You know, ask Jeeves, if you remember. Ask Jeeves, who uses that anymore.
No,
so
don't even know if it still works anymore.
Yeah, so being one of the first largest movers isn't always the best, in a sense. There may be a Google that will come out. You know, you might be Yahoo right now, but there might be a Google coming. So that's another thing to also bear in mind when looking at sort of the conditions and understanding, you know, the leaderboard of the markets, you know. But yeah, I think that's my opinion on that. So yeah, anything to add? I think that's been a good run through. Just a simple run through on just how to utilize the VPVR. Just looking at the RSIs, but just understanding the psychology of individuals using VPVR. You know, I think charts is definitely psychological and also emotional as well. You know, so. These are key areas that I look for and I look out and look at for. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, Storm, anything that you'd like to add?
It's not anything I'd like to add. I feel like you have covered quite a lot there.
Yeah.
I'll just ask like one question. When do you personally believe the markets will have some form of a uptrend, or the bull market? When do you think that will possibly
start? So the reason being, I think there could be positivity coming in the market is maybe near the end of this year. I wouldn't say in the beginnings, because in the beginning, that's when the VCs are moving, and the activities of the VCs have an effect later, from what I've seen. But I think it's just a year of accumulation, to be honest with you. I think it's you're really charting up to find them steals. You're charting up to find when the market goes down and what points the market will go down to, and if it goes up, then at what point will that start falling down? I think these are sort of the key areas that people should be looking for. So definitely stick around. We'll be charting up and showing you guys every week what we could what sort of price points are in the markets that we see, and of course do your own research and do your own technical analysis and see what you find, because everyone charts up individually and differently. But even if Storm charts up a chart and I chart up a chart, we may have some similarities in different price ranges and regions. So yeah, that's the one thing that I love about charting up. There's no right or wrong way necessarily, but there's so much different tools that you could utilize. And the way that I chart up charts, I wouldn't call it orthodox, or wouldn't call it the normal way at all. I do it in my own manner, and I create my own I've created my own strategies which work for myself. So the way that I chart up charts always sometimes doesn't have to be 100 indicators, you know, and look like a crazy mess, right? No, no indirects. So I like to keep my chart as clean as possible. Use just necessary indicators to understand the market and where people are at. So that's what I do for myself. And yeah, so I think yeah, one of the amazing tools that I use that is not traditionally used in crypto is the harmonics as well. So probably next time I'm on, I'll show you guys the harmonics and see if that's something that you may be interested in, because it can really show price points like that, you know. And instead of physically charting up and getting every level, it will show you roughly where these ranges are, utilizing VPVR and just utilizing these different things. Just gives a bit more insight, you know. So yeah, that's what I would say. But yeah, thank you guys for listening and tuning in to this episode of Voice of Crypto and Technically Speaking. I hope you guys have enjoyed our conversations and a little bit of the insight of sort of what we see in the markets, what's been happening in the space. Yeah, please do drop comments, like, share, and everything of that nature. And again, Happy New Year to everyone, and thank you for tuning in.
And if there's anything that you'd like to see us go over or anything you'd like to see on the show, drop that in the comments and ensure to follow and share the knowledge.
Yes, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Take care.